Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors, a Steadfast rendition. Now, weighing in at 8.2 ounces, we have Bowler K329 steel, G10 handle scales, small lanyard hole in the bottom, really a unique design from Calvin Richardson. Now, I have done a review on the Steadfast. This knife, I believe, is a couple years in the making. You can always tell when someone is a knife user or a knife maker or actually knows what the hell they're doing when they design a knife. You can tell the difference in the guys with the napkins that flick them open and shut and the guys who actually use them. No shade to the flickers, none at all. I like those knives too. But when it comes to actually wanting to use a knife, need a knife, have a knife, you can tell the guys that know what they're doing. Calvin Richardson is a knife maker and a knife designer. He did a phenomenal job on this blade. It has some unique qualities that I do want to cover, okay? Watch the video, listen to me ramble. That's how we play the game. When it comes to an EDC, an everyday carry, which I hate the term, but that's neither here nor there. This is one of the knives that's in that rotation. Now, I have another one. I believe the other one's an SK85 with a I can't remember the finish. You'll see it later in the video. Look how clean this one looks. But I carried the other one. I've been saving this one. I explained in a short last night. One thing that I really like to do, guys, with work tough gear especially, because Mr. Vic's always so gracious and kind and generous to send me knives to review. I like to keep a couple of their knives with fresh factory edges. Yes, I can sharpen a knife. Yes, I maintain my knives. But there is a reason for doing it. When someone sends me knives and believes in this channel enough to send me a knife to check out, like Work Tough Gear has for the past 2 or 3 years, right? I want to make sure that I can represent what they're sending. So by having a couple of blades that I just cut paper, just cut sandwiches, just cut light stuff with, you can see what you're getting from the factory. I enjoy doing that. I have a couple of them now, so this was a great time to do the Steadfast. Let's jump into it. It has a forward cant. Now, I don't know if Calvin instinctively designed it this way with a slight forward cant. Like, it doesn't have like a pistol grip. It has an angled handle, and I have a couple of segments in here where you can see it really well. It has a nice place to put your thumb. To me, this is a combat utility knife turned into a camp knife that you can take hunting. You can do whatever you want. I don't like putting a whole lot of labels on them, but that's what this is to me. It's a stout fighter, in my opinion. Most of your weight, the balance of this knife, the balance point is at the top screw in the handle. So it is handle heavy, so you can slash, swing it freely. Now, it has, I believe you might call that a modified clip point, but here's the deal. It has kind of an upswept tip. That comes in insanely handy when you couple it with that forward cant. If you take a pinch grip, you can do some really fine work. That tip and that forward cant works together. Everything flows. That's why I'm so high on this knife. Now, we don't talk knife design a lot. We usually just do function. I'm going to be quiet, and I want you to watch the cuts that we do right here. All right, that's 4-ply sandblast hose. 1 inch inner diameter. That's some tough stuff. Now, we're going to clean up the ends. I'm going to clean the end on this one up. I want you to watch this cut coming up. I was just going to clean the end up where I could slice straight down. This turns into one of the best cuts I think I've done on this channel. It's an accordion style cut where the knife, we just kind of keep manipulating the knife into the sandblast hose, and it just goes and goes and goes. Let's check it out. Hands down, I really do think that's one of the best cuts. It was easy to control. Razor sharp. Everything Vic sends out is razor sharp. That's the other reason I like keeping a fresh knife, so that you know when you get it in hand. And let me just say this, guys. I've been doing this for 2 or 3 years. I always encourage you when it comes to Work Tough gear. Yes, I'm biased. Yes, I'm a fan. Yes, okay. The thing is, there's not many bad reviews, if any, that I've seen of Work Tough gear. Now, you may not like a design, or you may not like, but they all come sharp. They're all pretty durable. And before anybody mentions Joe X, I love Joe, my brother from another mother. His whole channel is dedicated to breaking knives. So people, Joe X broke it. No shit, dumbass. That's what he does. I know that's hard to see. Let's look at this right here. Okay, you see right there, the knife breaks down into that clip. So we got a forward cant. And then the top breaks down, but then the tip goes up. Really a unique design. Here's a little tip test. If you're new here, I hate this test. I despise it. It always winds up being more about the reviewer and not the knife, because if I wanted to snap it, I could probably snap it. Now, I will say this. I was pretty impressed with it, but I'm still feeling my way. And the reason I'm saying like that, I'm not trying to be negative with that. I just want you to understand, am I going as hard as I can? No, I'm trying to find the right metric there, the right amount of resistance there. It's a work in progress. Right here, just some quick batoning. Easy stuff. It's pine. It's easy breezy, lemon squeezy. I wanted to show you a lot of different things. We cut a lot in this video, like I do in all my videos. We do a little more batoning towards the end. I'm not a huge batoner in real life. I like to do it to see if we can put direct pressure on the edge. Now, coming up right here, the top, what I'm showing you there is that knot. The entire top of that sumbitch is a pine knot. Okay, which can be hard. Pine in and of itself is not a hardwood at all, right? But when it's ate up with knots like this one is, it is. And you can see the amount of force we're using there. We're going to hammer down, slam down a little bit. At this point, I thought, you know what? I'm not just going to beat it through and waste a lot of time, but I did want to show you the edge, no damage. The edge retention on the Bowler K329 for Work Tough gear is pretty damn impressive. One of the reasons my videos are so redundant and I cut as much stuff as I do is to wear down the edge. They're dialing it in each and every night. And again, yes, I'm very positive when it comes to Work Tough gear, but that's based on experience, right? I am super positive when it comes to this design, because you always hear me say, oh, I love it. I love it. This is a knife in my EDC rotation. It's comfortable in hand. The G10 used on this handle is incredibly grippy. When we stab tires and we stab different things and we do the tip test, some of it's tip. Yes, sure. But a lot of it is to see if your hand's going to slide at all, to see if there's any hot spots at all. One of the hot points of Work Tough gear for me is their handle, not only their handle design, the ergos, the lack of hot spots. It's just they're one of the best handle companies in the business. I don't give a shit what a knife's made of. I don't care what steel you use. If you can't hold it, you can't use it. One thing Vic Lynn does very, very well is his handles, right? So it's like sharpness, it's the handles. Now, little thing right here. I threw the Steadfast a good bit, and normally I would clip it, but I just wanted to run this continuously. Again, another way to put a little pressure on the tip. This knife throws really well. The design is conducive to that, right? Of course, I had to bounce it there, but I just kept it rolling. The vast majority I stuck. Now, I wanted to do a short, and so I would swap camera angles, and I bounced it off. I bounced this knife and the other knife. That's the other Steadfast, by the way. I bounced these two off that damn thing probably 30 times, seriously. But they held up well. They throw well. I think this is one of the rare knives where the design lends itself. I don't like one tool options. Y'all know that. You carry the right amount of gear for the thing. But this is a knife you could survive with. That old mystical survival situation careening off a mountain, all you got your knife and your underwear, son, this is what you want. And it's just comfortable in hand. Like I said, it's 8.2 ounces. Let's do some specs real quick. I try to do them up front, and then I'm like, well, I forget. So overall length is 10 inches, 10 and a half inches. Blade length is 5.5 with about a 5 1/4 cutting edge. Blade width at its widest point is 1.25 inches. Now, handle scales. When I do the handle, I do the complete scales. The handle scales are right at 5 inches. The inner grip is 4 1/8, but you can go to 4.5 if you need to wrap your fingers on that pommel. Everything is really, really, really well done when it comes to the ergos there. I can't stress that enough. Now, the blade thickness is 3/16. And again, guys, if you're new here, I'll legit pull, listen. I'll legit pull the measurements while I'm doing the narration. I like doing that. And it's nothing against anybody. It's just my way of kind of getting in tune with the knife. I love this knife a lot. Like I said, I've done a review, maybe 2 on it. It's one of my favorites. Check this out. It's the Steadfast. Calvin Richardson did a great job. Vic always does a great job, man. And seriously, that's another reason that I love doing the reviews of Work Tuff gear. Honestly, they just make it really easy. Now listen, Vic does amazing kydex as well. Guys, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. That's why on this channel we bring it up, because I want the number to be 0. Numbers are all over the place. They're everywhere. That's why we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. Man, you got a place here. Guys, I back the blue. I say it every day. It's not popular. You know, it is what it is. I've got my reasons. I got videos on my reasons. We can agree to disagree. I don't shove it down your throat. Finally, if you are an addict, and Lord knows I am. Lord knows I am. Never quit quitting. Well, guys, I'm Scab. You're not. And we gone, son. The Steadfast.